The Taj Mahal is also known as Crown of the Palace. It is an Islamic ivory white marble mausoleum on the right bank of the river Yamuna in the Indian city of Agra. It was commissioned in 1631 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal. It also houses the tomb of Shah Jahan himself. The tomb is the centerpiece of a 42-acre complex, which includes a mosque and a guest house, and is set in formal gardens bounded on three sides by a crenellated wall. The Taj Mahal is considered the finest example of Mughal architecture, a style that combines elements from Persian, Indian, and Islamic architectural styles. Construction of the mausoleum was essentially completed in 1643, but work continued on other phases of the project for another 10 years. The Taj Mahal complex is believed to have been completed in its entirety in 1653 at a cost estimated at the time to be around 32 million rupees, which in 2020 would be approximately 70 billion rupees. The construction project employed some above 20,000 artisans under the guidance of a board of architects led by the court architect to the emperor, Ustad Ahmad Lahori. Various types of symbolism have been employed in the Taj to reflect natural beauty and divinity. In 1632, the fifth Mughal emperor, Shah Jahan, commenced the construction of one of the greatest monuments of all time, the Taj Mahal, built atop a 22 feet high and 313 feet square platform with corner minarets 137 feet tall and 81 feet high and 58 feet in diameter, central inner dome surmounted by an outer shell nearly 200 feet in height. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the mausoleum built to fulfill a promise he made to his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, as she laid on her deathbed, to erect a monument to match her beauty. The Taj Mahal was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 for being the jewel of Muslim art in India and one of the universally admired masterpieces of the world's heritage. It is regarded by many as the best example of Mughal architecture and a symbol of India's rich history. The tomb is the central focus of the entire complex of the Taj Mahal. It is a large, white marble structure standing on a square plinth and consists of a symmetrical building with an iwan topped by a large dome and finial. Like most Mughal tombs, the basic elements are Indo-Islamic in origin. The most spectacular feature is the marble dome that surmounts the tomb. The dome is nearly 35 meters high, which is close in measurement to the length of the base, and accentuated by the cylindrical drum it sits on, which is approximately 7 meters high. Because of its shape, the dome is often called an onion dome or guava dome. At the top of the tower is a final balcony surmounted by a chhatri that mirrors the design of those on the tomb. The chatras all share the same decorative elements of a lotus design topped by a gilded finial. The minarets were constructed slightly outside of the plinth so that in the event of collapse, a typical occurrence with many tall constructions of the period, the material from the towers would tend to fall away from the tomb. The minarets, which are each more than 40 meters tall, display the designer's penchant for symmetry. They were designed as working minarets, a traditional element of mosques, used by the muezzin to call the Islamic faithful to prayer. Each minaret is effectively divided into 3 equal parts by 2 working balconies that ring the tower. The Taj Mahal was constructed using materials from all over India and Asia. It is believed over 1,000 elephants were used to transport building materials. It took the efforts of 22,000 laborers, painters, embroidery artists and stonecutters to shape the Taj Mahal. The translucent white marble was brought from Makrana, Rajasthan, the jasper from Punjab, jade and crystal from China. The turquoise was from Tibet and the lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, while the sapphire came from Sri Lanka and the carnelian from Arabia. In all, 28 types of precious and semi-precious stones were inlaid into the white marble. The plinth and tomb took roughly 12 years to complete. The remaining parts of the complex took an additional 10 years and were completed in order of minarets, mosque and jawab, and gateway. Since the complex was built in stages, discrepancies exist in completion dates due to differing opinions on completion. Construction of the mausoleum itself was essentially completed by 1643, while work on the outlying buildings continued for years. Due to the global attention that it has received and the millions of visitors it attracts, the Taj Mahal has become a prominent image that is associated with India, and in this way has become a symbol of India itself. Along with being a renowned symbol of love, the Taj Mahal is also a symbol of Shah Jahan's wealth and power, and the fact that the empire had prospered under his rule. Bilateral symmetry dominated by a central axis has been used by rulers as a symbol of a ruling force that brings balance and harmony, and Shah Jahan applied the concept in the making of the Taj Mahal. Additionally, the plan is aligned in the cardinal north-south direction, and the corners have been placed so that when seen from the center of the plan, the sun can be seen rising and setting on the north and south corners on the summer and winter solstices respectively. This makes the Taj a symbolic horizon. The planning and structure of the Taj Mahal, from the building itself to the gardens and beyond, is symbolic of Mumtaz Mahal's mansion in the Garden of Paradise. The concept of Gardens of Paradise is extended into the building of the mausoleum as well. Colorful vines and flowers decorate the interior, and are filled in with semi-precious stones using a technique called pietra dura, or as the Mughals called it, parch and carry. The building appears to slightly change color depending on the time of day and the weather. The sky has not only been incorporated in the design through the reflecting pools but also through the surface of the building itself. This is another way to imply the presence of Allah at the site. According to Ebba Koch, art historian and international expert in the understanding and interpretation of Mughal architecture and the Taj Mahal, the planning of the entire compound of the Taj symbolizes earthly life and the afterlife, a subset of the symbolization of the divine. The plan has been split into two. One half is the white marble mausoleum itself and the gardens, and the other half is the red sandstone side meant for worldly markets. Only the mausoleum is white so as to represent the enlightenment, spirituality and faith of Mumtaz Mahal. According to the world traveler Eleanor Roosevelt, the white symbolized the purity of real love. Koch has deciphered that symbolic of Islamic teachings, the plan of the worldly side is a mirror image of the otherworldly side, and the grand gate in the middle represents the transition between the two lives. Soon after the Taj Mahal's completion, Shah Jahan was deposed by his son Aurangzeb and put under house arrest at nearby Agra fort. Upon Shah Jahan's death, Aurangzeb buried him in the mausoleum next to his wife. In the 18th century, the Jat rulers of Bharatpur invaded Agra and attacked the Taj Mahal. They took away the two chandeliers, one of agate and another of silver, which were hung over the main cenotaph. They also took the gold and silver screen. Kanbo, a Mughal historian, said the gold shield which covered the 4.6 meters high finial at the top of the main dome was also removed during the Jat despoliation. By the late 19th century, parts of the buildings had fallen into disrepair. At the end of the 19th century, British Viceroy Lord Curzon ordered a sweeping restoration project, which was completed in 1908. He also commissioned the large lamp in the interior chamber, modeled after one in a Cairo mosque. During this time the garden was remodeled with European-style lawns that are still in place today. The Taj Mahal attracts a large number of tourists. UNESCO documented more than 2 million visitors in 2001, which had increased to about 8 million in 2014. A two-tier pricing system is in place, with a significantly lower entrance fee for Indian citizens and a more expensive one for foreigners. As of 2022, the fee for Indian citizens was 50 rupees, for citizens of SAARC and BIMSTEC countries 540 rupees, for foreign tourists 1,100 rupees. Most tourists visit in the cooler months of October, November and February. Polluting traffic is not allowed near the complex and tourists must either walk from parking areas or catch an electric bus. The Kawaspura's northern courtyards are currently being restored for use as a new visitor center. In 2019, in order to address over-tourism, the site instituted fines for visitors who stayed longer than 3 hours. The Taj Mahal is regarded by many as the best example of Mughal architecture and is widely recognized as the jewel of Muslim art in India. It is one of the world's most celebrated structures and a symbol of India's rich history. Taj Mahal is considered as one of the 7 wonders of the world, and some Western historians have noted that its architectural beauty has never been surpassed. Its stunning architectural beauty is beyond adequate description, particularly at dawn and sunset. Once inside, the ornamental gardens are set out along classical Mughal charbagh, formal Persian garden, lines, a square quartered by watercourses, with an ornamental marble plinth at its center. When the fountains are not flowing, the Taj is beautifully reflected in the water. The Taj is not merely a monument of grace and dignity alone. It is, in fact, a message to all mankind that pure love is the soul of life.